Welcome back. 19 minutes after 8, the Sunday edition of the South African Morning. Newspapers abound, sports editors abound. Vata Ngobeni, morning to you, head of ENCA Sport. We're going to talk sport with you in just a moment, but we're going to just go through some of the front pages.
Very quickly, before we get to Vata's corner.
Vata's view.
Vata's view. Okay, we can decide a little later.
Did we get a sting or a title made, some music?
Can you tell we're just excited to have company?
Yeah, there's a human. Welcome to our world.
Well, we appreciate the effort. Okay, very quickly before we get to Vata, front page of the Sunday Times. Things fall apart is that front page. And indeed a picture that unfortunately one can see in various major cities across the country. That is a man holding up a pile of refuse outside a Bloemfontein building housing the Deeds Office and the South African Revenue Services. Mangaung has failed to collect refuse for almost 2 months. And the focus of this article, and it seems is a bit of a focus throughout the paper on this and the state of our municipalities. The opening story that they tell here focuses on the Northwest. 2 mayors, 2 speakers, municipal premises barricaded to shut out rivals, frozen bank accounts and the collapse of service delivery in broken towns. This is the battered face of local government in the Northwest, and that story going in depth to tell a story that unfortunately we're seeing in far too many cities at the moment. And the other major story on the front page, their vaccine rollout, the hard part still to come. We've all loved seeing the pictures of our older South Africans, plus 60s, and of course still some health workers getting the first of their Pfizer jabs. And that article just looking at what still lays ahead. I know I, for one, am still waiting for my parents to receive their SMS. She keeps checking the SMSs, nothing as yet, but we'll hold the course and hope that it comes.
It's strange at the time because I got asked this question by my old man. My grandfather lives in a different part of Johannesburg, registered after my parents, and has already gotten the jab. It was last week.
But lives in a smaller town.
Lives in a smaller town, though, perhaps, and that's where the issue is. The folks who, my dad is older in this particular case, still waiting for the SMS to say, come through. So I think that our age, when we're seeing our parents being so vulnerable, we're starting to panic. But hopefully the SMS has come through soon. All right, what have I got for you? Let me quickly give you the, I think this is page 5 of the Sunday World. I just want to touch on this because we are in a by-election year. Where's my camera? You'll find me in a moment. It is page 5. Zille and Steenhuisen feel the heat for the DA's poor showing in the by-elections. And if we've seen what's been happening in the DA this last week, Van damned if you do, Van damned if you don't. It's no real surprise that there are problems within the DA, but maybe the ship gets steadied before the by-elections and the city press, just because they have so many headlines. Let me get to that for you quickly. And we're all gearing up for this again this week, aren't we? Oops, let me try and get this right. The Jacob Zuma last stand, the city press going into some detail what they're breaking down to be the strategy in place, they believe, for when the former president arrives back in the Pietermaritzburg High Court later this week, Wednesday the 26th. And then just quickly, Sama nominee. It's Zoe Madiga performing during last night's Samas at the Lyric Theatre in Gold Reef City as well. And then just staying with the Samas, here it is, guys. Come back to me very quickly. Up here it is. It's Black Coffee. He snubbed the Samas.
Well, some would say that Black Coffee's had other things on his plate, and the Summers is the last thing on his mind, but that's a different conversation completely, right, Vata? Let's get to Vata's front page.
Vata's view of the front page.
Yeah, well, his front pages are the back pages, the real front page. But first things first, I did mention on air earlier that you are a Sundowns fan. So perhaps that's where we should kick off, because there will be a lot of coverage in the newspapers of the Sundowns game against Al Ahly going through to the semi-finals of that CAF competition. But there's more focus on the treatment of your former beloved coach, Pitso Mosemane, and he's been very emotional about the things that were said by protesters standing outside the bus. But you seem to think that he must take it on the chin.
Marcelle, point of correction. I appreciate the way Sundowns plays. My home is in Mamelodi, yes. But I'm no fan of no team in South Africa.
Of course.
I've got
a neutral.
Neutral.
However, I mean, Peter, find me a river. Please. I mean, he used to incite the away fans. Every time a North African team comes to Pretoria, he was leading the Sundowns fans in abusing, those teams and their coaches. It's got a taste of his own medicine. It might have gone a little bit too far, however.
They spoke about his mother, Vata. Come on.
There are lines.
They speak about everyone.
But are you saying that that's football?
That's football. Marcelle, you would know. You would know.
There's offside and a red card.
Go to Liverpool. You understand that the language is quite colourful, and it makes for good excitement. Understand?
I don't think it is.
However, Peter Mosimane, I need to commend him for one thing. They did well. Luckily, won at home, got a draw. You know, he got one over his team, and he played the psychological game very well. I think Ngobeni and his team should have expected this.
Yeah.
But in the way in which he did it, you know, staying at the same hotel as a Sundowns camp.
Strategic as always.
Exactly. So again, a masterstroke by Peter. He's crying now. That's fine. Good for him. But yeah,
he's through to the semi-finals.
I feel.
What else has caught your eye in the newspapers?
It's Chiefs.
Okay, are we moving on from Chiefs?
No. Actually, well done to Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, for how badly they've played domestically to do so well.
Let me hold that up while you speak about
in the Champions League. Again, I mean, they lost 3-0 away from home. However, I mean, the damage was done last week when they won 4-0. Another Chiefs headline. However,
and at the moment we're looking at the sports pages of the City Press. What are they leading with?
The City Press as well. Chiefs. This pains me. It pains me. But at the same time, I think Gavin Hunt needs a break. He's literally walked into a cesspool, and he's tried his best. And I don't think people give him enough credit. I mean, Kaizer Chiefs, this job has actually, I think, muddied his CV, because he's had a wonderful CV up until now. And no one would say no.
But he does love a challenge, doesn't he?
He does love a challenge, my son. And yes, you know, there are problems with Kaizer Chiefs. They can't buy players and so on, but I think just it being a family business is a bit of a problem.
Well,
we've got to say that. I mean, those protesters went there to Naturena. No one's talking the truth. The truth is, Bobby, Jessica, Kaizer Jr. And Kemisha, they need to go.
But
they
that's
really
not
need
going
to go.
Happen in our
no, but they need to go, Marcelle, because it is a professional team. It's got to be run professionally. It's got to be run by people who actually understand and know football. Not people who've learned the game through their blood. No, people who actually understand the game.
As a complete exodus, or bring people in who are experts to work along?
I think someone needs to come around the business side. Someone needs to run the football side of it. Because we've seen some bad decisions. And we've got to call it. They are bad decisions.
Okay, just very quickly, away from football, we've got golf, obviously, is in the headlines. South Africans expected to do very well. I know what I'm going to be watching until late tonight. Do you think the South African can get in there?
Christian Besaidnout?
Oh, yeah.
In good form?
Yeah, constant.
Louis Oosthuizen, always coming second.
I know.
I hope he does well, but I've got a root for Phil Mickelson, 50-year-old.
And he's getting better.
You have to root
he's
for
just
the great
looking
story,
more relaxed and cooler on the course as well. Nothing phases him. He is focused, but he just seems so blasé. He's so comfortable with himself, and he's playing beautifully at the moment.
Listen, he's one shot up.
Yeah.
Going to the final round. I think all the years of experience are really going to come in handy for him, you know, today. I'm worried about Koepka, because he's one of those guys. And
he's won it, he's looking for his third title, his third PGA in the same amount of years almost, or something like that, 4 years.
But Marcelle, again, we need to go with the 50-year-old.
Yeah, because it's a wonderful story, right?
And we need those. We really need.
Life doesn't end at 50, Vata.
No, it starts.
Tell you that.
It starts.
Also, he's a lefty as well, so if we can just throw that in there as well.
And not in terms of his politics, you're talking about
no. Well,
and then just
I've got to say this though, Marcelle, and just before we go, I'm angry at Safa.
Oh gosh, okay,
let's
get it out there now.
Because Safa were meant to bring the coach here last week, and they didn't.
Ooh. Safa
continue to make one broadcaster the only exclusive rights holder to the coach. And they did it again yesterday with the announcement of the squad, which no one really cares about anymore. However, it is nobody owns the national team besides the country.
Yep.
And I think Safa should learn one thing, is that when the coach is being announced, it's got to be announced to the entire country. And I think ENCA were done wrong, not just ENCA, but the rest of the South African media.
I was going to say, can one compare it to the other sports? Because there was a time, Vata, where SA Rugby tried to do the same thing when it came to Springbok team announcement and trying to keep that exclusive to a certain broadcaster in Randburg. But that never really took hold, and their message came across that you actually, when it comes to things like team announcements and things that are really in the public and the country's interest, you cannot keep that exclusive to one broadcaster. It's just not right.
No, you can't. You can't. No, and again, Marcelle, no one owns the national team besides the people of South Africa. You can buy as many rights as you can. However, you don't own the national team.
As we wrap up, any idea why that would be happening? I mean, viewers might not understand how this all works with national teams and broadcasters.
Gareth, there's an agreement between the SABC and SAFA to broadcast the national team games.
That's the game.
Well, that's fine. That's the games. We understand how that works.
And unfortunately, I think the SABC and SAFA have muddied the water when it comes to this. I think it's a case of the one who pays the piper plays the tune, and they've just taken it too far. They've taken it too far. And the rest of the media is actually suffering because of one deal
lack of access.
That was done, I'd say, somewhere in a dark, smoky room in Auckland Park. So I'm actually...
What are you saying, because they couldn't keep the lights on?
Oh.
I'm being nasty. Let's stop right there.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the first edition of Vata's View.
Vata's View.
And if that's anything to go by, this is going to be stellar over the next couple of weeks. We're looking forward to it, Vata, and also Edwin Gass is going to be joining us as well. Thanks to Vata for coming in and speaking to us about that and big issues.
What's the plan for the rest of Sunday? Are we braaiing? I've just heard South Africans eat a lot of meat, even more so on weekends.
Welcome to Ferrari.
Oh.
Welcome, Ferrari.
There we go. That's the plan.
You know, you can't bring this in at the end. We're running out of time.
Welcome, Ferrari.
Don't get my back up this late in the show.
And to West Ham and Chelsea,
no one cares.
enjoy Thursday night football.
You see, he's a Liverpool.
No,
We just want our fourth place. That's all we need.
Is he Liverpool as well? Okay, I want a new one. Now we've got between Jeffrey Stevens, Marcelle, and Vata, there's 3 Liverpool.
Done. How does it feel?
You're
surrounded.
I just feel sorry for more people
as well.
I just feel sorry for more people on set. That's all that's happened. Vata's View, thank you very much. We're back with you in a moment here on the Sunday edition.